Rachel Prinzen. I am running for school board trustee for Prince Edward County North. This is Wellington, so you guys are a part of that. I just want to thank you, Nash, for having me. I want to thank the Wellington Community Association and Wellington Business Association for hosting tonight, for all of us to be here to speak to you. And I want to thank my family for being here. So there's a lot of you, and I really appreciate all of you. I love you. So within my 3 minutes, I want to share that I was born and raised here in Prince Edward County. Really proud of having those deep roots. 11th generation, so deep roots. I attended Pinecrest Elementary, and then I went on to do high school at PCI. I was very blessed to receive the first Russ Perkins Award. He was one of the principals at PCI, the late Russ Perkins, and that allowed me to go on to do nursing. Without that scholarship, I wouldn't have been able to do that. And so I feel very blessed to be able to be up here today and try to have a chance to influence our education system and make it possible for other people to advance and fulfill their full purpose. So I should also mention, I went on to Loyalist College, Brock University, to complete my degree in nursing. And after I graduated, how am I doing for time? A minute and a half, okay. So after I completed my degree in nursing, I went on. A majority of my career has been with Corrections Canada, so a nurse in the prison system, and I've been able to work within mental health, and so that is a big part of my background. I believe, having gone through the past 2 to 3 years, we've seen a significant effect on mental health, not just for our kids, but for our community, but especially for our children and youth. The research is showing that children and youth have been disproportionately affected by the lockdown mandates. And so I really think I can bring something to the table in terms of how we're going to develop policies and ensure our kids are meeting the milestones they need to be meeting, and again, fulfilling their full purpose. That is really important to me. As a nurse, I was trained to operate with a vision in person-centered care. And so that means that each individual has their own needs and their own values. They may have their own barriers in life. We gotta look at the individual and meet those needs. And so that's where I think the development of policies surrounding mental health and making sure that they advance and meeting all their goals and fulfilling their purpose is important. I also should mention I have 2 beautiful daughters, Mia and Kyla, and so they're in the school system, and so I have a vested interest in sharing, not just for everybody. I do love Prince Edward County, and so I feel very passionate of ensuring all kids are taken care of, but I especially, having my 2 daughters, I want to make sure that their futures are good. 10 seconds. Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for engaging. I think this is a really important process that we do show up, and so thank you for being here tonight.
Prince Edward County, Rachel and I both went to Pinecrest and PECI, so we share that. After I graduated from PECI, I moved to British Columbia to get my teaching degree, and after that I became a student teacher on an Indigenous reserve. I am now working with a nationally funded grant at a local not-for-profit to help increase graduation rates within Prince Edward County. Through this work, I have an advantage to the school board trustee role, as I'm already working with youth. I've created that rapport with them, and I'm able to access them and talk about their needs within the school system already. If I were to be elected as school board trustee, I would continue to advocate for youth and their needs. I would work with our school board to create and govern a strategic plan that is for our students. In that, I would highlight an actual zero tolerance policy for bullying, especially within the marginalized youth that are at our schools. Being born and raised in Prince Edward County, as well as receiving my early education here, gives me a privileged insight into the specific issues and challenges that are faced by youth in our local school system. My higher education in teaching has given me a deeper understanding of these challenges through the lens of teachers and faculty, the tools, limitations they face in addressing these challenges. My time spent as a student teacher helped further my understanding of issues youth face in the education system, specifically marginalized youth. Having returned to Prince Edward County after university and working in the hospitality sector, this has also helped me be connected in our current community, as well as refine my interpersonal skills. My lifetime of experiences from childhood in Prince Edward County, my continued education, my work experience, and my community involvement has given me the skills and knowledge to excel in the role of school board trustee. This, combined with my passion for work, I believe that I am the best candidate for the position in our municipal government. Thank you.
I think it's really incredibly important right now that we are providing all services that our children need. Again, I spoke to patient-centered care. I'm talking about person-centered care now with our students. As a trustee, I would be lobbying our government for the funding we need. We cannot be having cuts right now. I understand that that might be the case, but I would be meeting with our MPP, and I would be meeting with our MP, and this is municipal, there's provincial, and there's federal government, and I would be bringing us all together to say, this is a priority right now. Children are our future, especially the special needs. I do understand, speaking with teachers, that we have a significant number of children in the education system with special needs, and we can't let them fall through the cracks. I think that's a real injustice. And so in terms of what do we do, a big part of my platform is public consultation. I want to be speaking with all of you. I want to speak with the teachers, I want to speak with the students, I want to speak with like all the staff and the educational director. Bring everybody to the table and let's talk about strategies, because we can't allow that we can't fail our kids, we can't. And so my focus is on student well-being. Again, I talked about mental health. Without mental health, the World Health Organization says there is no health. This is really important. All areas of health are interconnected, and if we're not meeting their needs in one area, we could be failing them in another. So public consultation, promotion of collaboration again. I am for individual and family autonomy, and so speaking with the families and bringing them in, the families need to be involved. And another part of my platform is promoting a culture of excellence, honor, respect, innovation, creativity, and unity. And I also believe in promoting life skills of resilience, critical thinking, character development, and empathy. And that's not just within our schools, but that's within our community. So how do we bring these things all together? And 10 seconds. And if we don't get the money, if that were the case, how do we be strategic with what we have? How do we develop new avenues? But I know what, for me, I'll be advocating for that money.
I would work with the other trustees and I would create a louder voice to advocate for, it all comes down to the student needs at this point, right? They're the ones in our education systems, those are the ones that are going to be failed if we have cuts to educations. They're the ones that are going to be failed if we don't bring in more educational assistants into each classroom. We need to make sure that if children have accessible needs, that they're being met. I think everyone, no matter where they're from, what walk of life, we deserve to have equal opportunity, especially within education, and I don't see that being met right now. I also think that it's important to, speaking of cuts, bringing in more books in libraries, especially books that are showing diversity within families, that are showing children with disabilities, so that if there are marginalized youth that aren't feeling like their education is accessible, they can see that within books. Because as we all know, books are the gateway to education. I learned so much from reading. And yeah, just making sure that all the needs are being met by advocating with my other trustees. So creating a louder voice. Looking at the current strategic plan, the 5 main points are annual increase in students meeting provincial standards, because right now Hastings Prince Edward has a much lower average and then a much higher expulsion rate. So working on that. Another one is fostering a culture of excellence and high expectations, promoting safety and well-being, strengthening community through equity and social justice, and ensure responsible communication, basically meaning that everyone throughout all levels of governance of the school board are working together and hearing the same thing. So one of the points that I think I could work well in would be promoting safety and well-being, and I think that would tie back to my current role as a job that I'm working on right now, is already being in the schools and talking to the youth, and I've already asked them, what is happening, where are you feeling safe, where are you feeling unsafe? So already knowing those topics from youth kind of gives me an advantage of that. So I think advocating for safety and well-being within students would be the best one that I would provide.
So, currently, the Hastings Prince Edward District School Board's strategic priorities are set from 2020 to 2025, and they are under excellence, well-being, equity, achievement, and communication. And I believe I represent all five, but if I were to choose one or two, it would probably be well-being. And I don't feel like I can choose just one. Excellence and well-being, I guess, and achievement and communication. It's really hard to choose just one. I've kind of already spoken to my platform and what's the end of that question? How you're going to foster that?
As a trustee.
Okay. I guess I can repeat my platform because that sort of answers that question. I want to ensure we're facilitating public consultations. That speaks to communication. I'm really focused on student well-being and student success, and ensuring every student has the resources and support required to reach their full potential, with mental health being a current priority. Increase accessibility and affordability. Increase funding for support services, resources, and staffing in schools and in partnership with the community. Again, that's communication and student well-being and achievement. Promote collaboration, increase parental, family, and community involvement with respect for individual and family autonomy. Promoting a culture of excellence, honor, respect, innovation, creativity, unity, and promoting life skills, resilience, critical thinking, character development, and empathy. And I think that my platform kind of touches on all those areas for the strategic priorities that Hastings Prince Edward District School Board currently has in place for the vision of where we're going. All right, so the mission, the role of a trustee, I think, is really important. Like, how many here can say they know what the role of a trustee is? Not everybody, right? So, my understanding and my take of the role of the trustee is in policy development, ensuring that we have a vision for where we're going and we have a framework for how we're going to reach it. Each individual trustee that sits on the board comes together and brings the voice of those they represent. And so, whether Hale or myself are successful in this election, one of us will be an individual that is coming to the board to represent this area, your voice. And so we want to make sure we are accountable in meeting with you and speaking with you and bringing your voice and that everybody is represented. We don't want to be having anyone left out and some people getting more more attention than others. I personally, at least, will make sure that everybody is represented at that table. What was the other thing I was going to say? You wouldn't know. In terms of accountability, I'm trying to think of where I was going. I'm sorry. I've got 10 seconds. I'll just smile at you. And thank you for your time. I hope I was able to kind of be somewhat clear and provide you some idea of what I would be providing to this region if I were successful in this election. Thank you.
So as a trustee, our accountability lies between the constituents, the Board of Hastings Prince Edward. We uphold the decisions of the board. We are accountable to the Board of Hastings and Prince Edward. We are accountable to the Ministry of Education and the Education Act. So with these responsibilities and these accountabilities, a lot of our main focus, both Rachel and I, is on youth. However, the constituents, the people that are voting for us, are a huge part of this as well. And then, so upholding the Board of Hastings Prince Edward, creating and helping with the strategic plan, making sure that everyone has an accessible learning environment, and making sure the constituents are happy with how their youth are in school and going forward. Thanks.